Good evening, Free Enterprise viewers, and welcome to tonight's Monday Night Community Race, featuring a flag set from one of our async racing clubs, Shop to a Job, called Corporate Holiday Party. My name is S. Grunt. Joining me in the restream crew today are our very own Skull Kitty, handling the restream, Fiery Blizzard handling pushing the buttons tonight, and joining me in the comms booth today is Sheep Launcher. How are you doing tonight, Sheep?
Well, I'm great, and this flag set is a really fun one. It's called Corporate Holiday Party because we just need to get in, make an appearance, and get out. This should be a really speedy flag set. You only need 3 of the 4 objectives you only need to complete those, and you win the game.
Yeah, the Shop to the Drop Club features variants on the popular Supermarket Sweep flag set. So not only is it over a 3-win game, all shops are free. In this case around, because it's corporate, we're all professionals here. It's S Pro for settings, but that shouldn't pose too much of an obstacle for our racers here.
Yeah, the corporate swag they give out at the holiday parties might not be the best stuff. Might just be a corporate polo with the logo on it, but it is for free, and T Wild is on, so you have to kind of contain your inner Luke Goblin, but you get a couple of chests of the right kind, and you are off to the races, and this Edge makes it an even speedier start. Edge, super overpowered in the early game.
Yeah, Edge is certainly a very powerful hero to start, so much that there may or may not be clubs based solely around having Edge as your starting character around there, but I wouldn't know anything about that. So we should be underway here any moment now.
Yeah, so make sure that you don't do anything inappropriate with the copier, but otherwise, you should be good to go. And our racers have started. We're underway. We are glad to have you with us.
All right, that's Sid as our second starting character in a CPU. Our start just got even more powerful as a result of that Sid turning up. Apart from Fusoya, who doesn't appear in the seat, Sid and Edge are the 2 highest level starting characters you can pick up here. And of course, because we've got Edge and we have free shops, if you can find a reasonably good dart to use, Edge will just dart things throughout the scene and basically trivialize everything that's possible. Because it's S Pro, the best dart I believe you can find is something like a Slumber Sword, but that should be good enough for our needs.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out those shops and stocking up on darts. You may notice that no children are allowed at this corporate holiday party, and the Fu and Tella are also excluded because they have presumably reached retirement age.
All right, we've got a few free character checks being checked here. CS Radical finds Rosa and Edward in Mysidia. Ninja finds Yang in Watery Pass, and we get the Twin Harp in its vanilla location from Edward and Tria Castle.
Yeah, our runners are Beauty in Discovery on the top left, CS Radical on top right, Shurikens and Slumber Swords, by the way, E-Ninja 81 in the bottom left, and Cubs Rule 21 in the bottom right. There are 9 runners overall in this community race, and as is befitting this flag set, we are going in all different kinds of directions, going very quickly, as if this party needed any more help. That Rosa is just what the doctor ordered.
All right, we are, as befitting a supermarket sweep, getting a lot of shop checks here. So those Slumber Swords, as I mentioned earlier, are probably going to be one of the most significant things that we've found so far.
Yeah, Slumber Swords and Shurikens, and I believe Drain Swords, all in the same spot. Any of them wielded by Edge will basically get you through the entire overworld by itself. That's a glass hat for CS Radical in the back of Silvera, yeah.
And life potions in Silvera as well.
And E-Ninja and Cubs Rule in Antlion Cave. Cubs Rule picks up a Dancing Dagger on the...
Beauty finds a very charming weapon shop in Mist Village. Mm-hmm. All right, here's Antlion. We find Bahamut in Antlion Cave.
And Bahamut is free in a couple of places, especially free here. Won't even get a chance to list all of the ways that these employees' work have saved the company money over the years.
Well, Edge is a fast enough anchor, though, that Bahamut will be likely to get even one number in. And in fact, Bahamut did not even get the 5 out for succumbing. And that's a spoon we get from that fight.
And the spoon flag is on, so that Eddie can suddenly do a little bit of damage now.
The spoon is normally a throwing-only weapon in the vanilla game. However, we do have the spoon flag enabled, which lets Edward equip the spoon, which is the single most powerful weapon in the game when it is equipped.
Beauty and Discovery checking out Yang in the Kaipo bed, but Bahamut in Antlion Cave reminding me of the best corporate speech I've ever heard, where he didn't actually say anything.
Sometimes the best speeches are those with the fewest words.
And Cubs Rule showing off just what a powerful ability Dart is, especially early on, also picking up his spoon.
We have Ninja heading into Fabul, interestingly enough. We don't have any sight of underground access yet, so this does make a certain degree of sense doing this at this point in time.
And could it be that the magma key, which the flag set forces a magma key to be available somewhere in the overworld, could it be that it's behind the harp? We will see.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. We've got the Manga Sisters attacking Fabul today, but other than this Fabul check and the harp, we also have Baronin in play, and we have Mount Ordeals in play, and I believe that's all of the remaining checks that we haven't seen yet that could have the magma key, or something that leads to it.
Ooh, and from the free treasury, CS Radical finding a crystal ring. T Wild really... Oh, and a crystal sword!
Not only that, but a crystal sword!
And
so
a crystal armor.
If we find that Cecil is going to be quite powerful indeed.
Yes. Nobody's checked Ordeals yet, so so he could be lurking up there.
Alright, Fabul Defense gets us a hook, interestingly enough.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, so that could signal that our magma key is behind the rat tail, for example, which might be one of the other overworld checks, because we know that the magma key is the intended way to get underground in this flag set.
Absurul dispatches the Maga Sisters fairly easily. We'll get his hook as well. And CS Radical trying to figure out where to go next. No boss hunts required in this flag set, so Waterfall and Mist Cave are very optional. Absolutely no reason to go visit them.
Well, I mean, Mist Cave might have some reasonable loot, but there's also other, like, with T Wild being on, there's no particular reason to go to Mist Cave specifically, because the loot there's going to be no better than you find anywhere else. Ninja is heading up Ordeals, finds another Rosa there. So we'll be seeing the 3 bosses there, and the key item we get from that in just a few moments. I do want to take a moment to point out that Cub still only has 2 characters here, which is having no problem with any of the remaining bosses here, which just goes to show how powerful the Edge and Sid combination is.
So this is the worst part of the holiday party for E-Ninja, trying to face down 3 bosses in succession, remembering their names, remembering how you report to each of them, and remembering how you kind of give the company value. It's it's giving me flashbacks, I gotta say.
It can certainly come as a bit of a shock to some of these bosses. Unfortunately, we don't have any of that.
In Baron Inn, finding Plague in the first spot. Really good spot for Plague there, and absolutely not a problem. And then Leviathan in the second spot.
That's actually relatively kind Baron Inn. This second Baron Inn spot is extremely slow, and we've got Edge anchoring here. We're going to get a lot of actions against this Leviathan, so as long as the Ice 2s don't do too much damage, we're going to get through that fight very rapidly. And here's Antlion on vacation for the moon in the second spot of Mount Ordeals.
Yeah, Antlion just chilling on top of the mountain can be really annoying here. But with a Spoony Bard and with Edge darting stuff, should have enough firepower to take him down.
Beauty is following ninja upward deals here, finds that additional Rosa. We'll be finding Odin and we'll be finding Antline as well in just a few moments. There's the Magna Key in Baron Inn.
Very nice. And so the entire underworld is open to our runners, and that basically means that Cubs is one key item away, either the Earth Crystal or the Baron Key from being in coma.
Yeah, as soon as you get underground, the top of the lower tower is accessible as one of our objectives, and Dwarf Castle is also accessible. So that just requires that your characters be powerful enough to be able to take those bosses. And top of tower can be fairly nasty depending on who's up there, and so can Dwarf depending on who, especially turns up in that first boss spot.
I believe that was Cecil on top of Mount Hobbs, staring down his brother, Golbez, and that is worth taking if you have that crystal sword in hand.
Yeah, the only reason you might not want to do that is, well, firstly, if you don't know that crystal sword is there. Secondly, Golbez is a fairly lengthy fight, just due to the opening cutscenes. More so if you've got more than 2 characters, which everyone but Cubs is more than, well, Cubs is 3 characters now. But the more characters you have, the slightly slower. Okay, our receiver is having a little bit of difficulty with Cubs stream right now, so it's going to be taking a couple of moments just to get that refreshed. But we've got plenty of other action to watch right now. We get the Darkness Crystal from the Ordeal's Mirror Room, having gone through that Odin and Antlion, and we are getting Octomammoth as the 3rd boss there. Not that it really matters, most bosses who are here in the Mirror Room will die in 1 or 2 hits anyway. And with Edge and with Spoonward, it's basically a non-issue.
Darkness Crystal kind of a zonk on these flags because there are no key items up on the moon. It is a character check, but it is a long way to go. Even the item shop isn't all that appealing. It is free and it is S Pro, so the items you get there are weighted a little bit more heavily, but definitely not worth sitting through that entire summoning the big whale montage in order to get that.
Yeah, there's no real reason to go up there right now. With S Pro in particular, you're not even guaranteed one of the tier 5 items that normally show up in gated shops on S Standard. So you wouldn't be going up there to look for sirens or anything.
And so CS Radical making his way toward Baron to take on the Baron and Beauty and Discovery, about to get his Darkness Crystal and take down his Octomam E-Ninja on his way down. And Cubs, I feel like we should be having the Star Spangled Banner coming from his stream. That's a really old reference. But we are getting Cubs back up to speed momentarily.
Yeah, and it appears that Cubs is immediately made for Dwarf Castle upon heading underground here. This makes some degree of sense. The Dwarf checks are a little bit easier to deal with than that top of tower check can be. We've got elements in the first boss spot here. There's certainly worse things that could show up here. There's a variety of interesting things you can do to deal with Mylon Z and his elements appearance, who shares his appearance with Ruby. But if you play this properly, this spot effectively has half as much health as many other bosses would have in this spot.
I do enjoy seeing all 4 elements doing a little square dance in the in the crystal room. This is the spot where the first spot where Cubs's minimalist approach to characters might get him into a little bit of trouble. I think the reason that Cubs is doing this is to get Edge as many turns as possible, because Edge is really doing the damage. But it might be good just to have a couple of extra bodies here against these elements. And yeah, that was a big fire 3. Edge is going to stay up.
Yeah, we missed the phase skip there, but I think we're okay anyway. A couple more darts will... Well, these darts are only doing about 1,000 damage. Like, if we can get 3 more of them off, then we win the fight. And it looks like neither of these last 2 phases is going to hit hard enough that Edge will actually be likely to be knocked down before that happens.
And in fact, Kainatsu helping out at Edge by missing on a couple of them.
Yeah.
And now Edge will just start darting whatever is not nailed down.
Yeah. And we've certainly got a lot of things that aren't nailed down with all this corporate swag going about.
Right. Why would you carry something that is nailed down, I suppose? is the question.
Well, I mean, if the nails are in the right spot, it can make for a more effective weapon if you think about it. But
I mean, you're talking to the guy who likes to go on disc 2 in Final Fantasy VII carrying a nail bat around.
exactly. Case in point. All right, Cubs is through that elements fight. We should see who our second boss here in Dwarf Castle is in just a moment. That's Dr. Luge, who. This is a fairly trivial fight, but it is going to take some time just due to the amount of dialogue and the fact that it's two faces.
It is a little bit slow, but absolutely won't be an issue for this party. But now Cubs has 2 Eddies. The only thing better than 1 Eddie is 2 Eddies.
No. Too bad you can only get 1 spoon in these flag sets.
Yeah, that's true. The duplication glitch flag is not on. That would be a fun dupe to do if that were possible.
Oh yeah, it's an experience if you've got edges and spoons to do. I think the one time that when I had that combination of flags, it was also the wacky darts flag. Ooh, Edge was put to sleep in the Dr. Luge fight. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, Edge gonna get poisoned. Eventually, Dr. Luge will wake him up, but this is more time.
Okay, Edge is in no danger here. None of these remaining techniques are going to do enough damage to him to make a difference. So this heal will wake Edge up, and we'll get another couple of darts out, and the fight will be over.
Yep.
Okay, in the meantime, Radical is Man of the People is checking Job Dwarf, who is a sheet metal worker this time around.
Job Dwarf really didn't want him to leave. That's a little bit scary, but luckily Radical waits him out. And Cubs Rule is through and will be the first of our restreamed runners to get an objective completed. E-Ninja coming in right behind.
Yeah, as that's happening, Radical is headed down into the Feymarsh, the town of monsters, presumably just for the key item check here, maybe for looking in the shops while he's down here, because none of the boss spots down here have key items in this flag set.
And Union Discovery is going to take on that Golbez, wants a Cecil on his team, and will sit through this interminable comedy act. But, you know, some things are worth it.
Yeah, Radical finds just the Adamant Rock from the Feymarch freebie. That's not one of the key items we're looking for here.
Long swords for sale, I believe in Tom. Huge for that Edge when you get tired of just chucking stuff. And also, long swords are a fairly good dart anyway.
Yep.
And CS Radical going to make his way up to Mount Ordeals. E-Ninja, his Elements fight is a lot smoother than Cubs's was. I don't know time-wise how it compares, but it certainly seems to be going a lot easier.
Okay, Cubs, having that tower key from the Dwarf Castle check, is now parked outside of tower, picks up a couple of his party members with life potions. This is a attempt to get ready for the tower expedition.
Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower. Clap.
Okay, so of course the top of tower here is an objective, but with the tower key in hand, we also got the second key item check from the super cannon room.
Yeah, and that'll be nice. So the warp glitch is on, but you may have noticed Cubs did not warp into the crystal room that's in the back of the sealed cave because Cubs doesn't have anybody who can cast warp. No Rydia, no Palin, no Tella, no Fu.
And I will
his
take a
flag
moment to point out that, of course, none of those characters can show up in this flag set.
Yeah, so the warp glitch is on, but nobody can take advantage of it. So we are certainly hoping for a Baron Key or an Earth Crystal hiding behind that Luca Key.
Yeah, but we can consider that a little bit of corporate comedy for the evening.
Yeah, it's technically possible.
All right, here's a sparkle at the top of tower. We've already seen Plague. This could be as bad as Wyvern.
Yeah, Wyvern would be tough up here. D-Lunars would be really tricky up here. Ogopogo is no fun anywhere.
I mean, I'd argue that Ogo is arguably less bad. No, it's just our friend Pale Dim.
We're about to hear the song of his people.
Yep. No, that requires us to actually attack physically here, which may not actually be happening. No.
We got enough darts, and Cub's going to hang back with the others and just throw stuff.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we did see the spoon dart there, so Cubs is very intent on taking this Pale Dim down as quickly as possible.
Yeah, this spot has a ton of HP, more than you would anticipate.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's a little over 25,000 health here, which is of the underground bosses, not counting the Famar spots, the beefiest of the underground spots.
E-Ninja right behind Cubs, also going to chase that tower key down. Beauty and Discovery hanging out in Eblin Castle.
Yeah.
Which seems like, of all the places in Final Fantasy IV, seems like the kind of hipsteriest place to have a holiday party.
Oh, why do you think the place is as dead as it is? Yeah, so Pale Dim isn't hitting the edge very hard here. So this will take a few more darts, but I don't think Cubs is in any particular danger from this fight.
Yeah, it has enough Cure 2s, and the Cure 2s will last at least 4 attacks from Pale Dim.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a non-issue now because that Pale Dim is down. That's our second objective on the board for Cubs, and we get an Earth Crystal from that.
That is go mode for Cubs.
Yes, it is.
Does not even need to check the Super Cannon room. Keyless Tower is the play, as it always is. 100% of the time.
As it turns out, this is a very do your objectives type of scene.
Yes, it is. And Cubs will be heading directly to the Tower of Zot, you would think.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, there are 9 racers in the race overall. There are 4 on Restream. There are no finishers yet, so Cubs will be making that beeline to the Tower of Zot. E-Ninja will presumably be right behind as soon as he can get through this Pale Dim.
Yeah, Radical is now in Dwarf Castle as well. We'll be taking on that Elements fight in just a few moments. I have to imagine that once Radical has that tower key in hand, he's also going to make a beeline directly for Tower.
Yeah, that seems like the way to go. The tower key practically begging you to go check it out, and then you don't even need it. And Beauty in Eblin Castle taking on the Black Cat and Lamia is an interesting choice here on T Wild, but it is a way to get some EXP. And when you know that you have to take on the top of tower and Dwarf Castle, and you need a couple of extra levels, you might as well get some rewards in the meantime.
Yeah, so on the unweighted treasure settings, of which one of them is T Wild, the other in this case being T Standard, the trap chests here are only notable in that they'll give you a tier 5 through 8 item, no matter where the trap chests happen to be. So it is possible to get some very good loot from the trap chests here, but you generally have more of a reason to come here on the weighted treasure settings, so you're guaranteed a better minimum tier of loot. That's just a white spear. from that. We haven't seen a cane yet, as far as I know, but it does make for a decent dart for Edge in a pinch.
Yep. And we understand what's happened with Cub's stream. We are doing a refresh and seeing if that will sort it out. Tech support gets invited to the holiday party as well.
Well, even tech support deserves a breakdown again, and it can just lead to unfortunate incidents like this now and again.
Yeah, usually the IT folks' unfortunate incidents have to do with leaving half-empty Mountain Dew bottles everywhere.
I feel called out here. Anyway, we can assume that Cubs is on his way up Zot already, if he's not there already. Ninja is at top of tower taking on that Pale Dim, and we get our do-do-do-do-do-do-do from this fight.
Yeah. And Ninja will get those slow casts, which does take some time, opting to take on, do a little bit more damage in exchange for that, instead of just going with the dart strategy. This is going to make for a slower fight. That's not a trade that will work out for E-Ninja time-wise.
Alright, looks like Cubs is more or less back and is on his way up Zot as we speak. Yeah.
And Cubs making his way up. And this is a shame. The Flame Dog is going to go unpetted. Somebody went through the trouble of bringing their dog to the holiday party, and you're not going to pet it? Shame,
yeah,
Cubs.
I mean, at this point in time, we're a little too burnt out, I think, to warrant that.
It is the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
And E-Ninja took a wipe to that Pale Dim.
Oof.
It's a fight that, if you're not careful, will certainly trip you up. And E-Ninja will take it on again.
Interesting that Radical is in, is that Zot? Not Zot, the Tower of Babel, and is stealing sirens while on his way up.
Yeah, so this is kind of the balance you have to strike, is that if you only need to do the objectives in order to win the game. So how much of a grind do you really need?
Yeah.
Well, you get an adamant armor out of the chest. That's worth it by itself.
Very nice. Caps is approaching the top of tower here. We do have two finishers off stream right now. That would be NG Dave with a finishing time of 22 minutes and 9 seconds, and Possum Morpheus coming in a little bit afterwards, 25 minutes and 45 seconds. So as Cubs battles this Dark Elf in the first Zot spot, with just Edge, will not be having too much difficulty with this fight, but will be one boss fight away from victory.
Yeah, GG's to those players, and really taking the motto of this flag set to heart, where you get in, you do what you need to do, and you get out. Well done, GG's.
Alright, there's the second phase of the Dark Elf fight. A couple more darts should end this.
Yeah, into the dragon phase. In the wrong spot, this phase can really hurt, but Edge is going to take care of it all by itself.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate things about this, about having only Edge here, is that there's a variety of strategies you can use on that second phase of the Dark Elf fight, because it does not have the boss bit set. You can stop it, you can use an hourglass on it, you can cast weak on it, but we don't have the characters here to be able to do that. So it's just a good old slugfest for that second half of the fight.
Oh, Cubs is through, and we'll get the two characters. Not like that matters much, but actually that second Edge will make this fight quite a bit faster.
Oh yes, with that we've got another dart thrower, basically.
Beauty and Discovery will drop his key down the well, and meanwhile CS Radical going up the other tower, the Tower of Babel. And its edge is on parade on Cubs Rule side.
Yeah, and that's another Sid tied up in Zot. I think we'll see the edge taken. We might see one of the Edwards replaced with that Sid just for a little bit of extra damage for this upcoming fight. Really, it's just going to be edge and edge doing most of the damage here. No, we don't take the Sid, we just take the edge.
Yep, and now Cubs has a double-edged party.
Yep. Well, I think we'll find that decision to be considerably less double-edged. That's Karate as the second Zot boss. This fight would be free if we had that Cecil in hand and had done our deals. But we're going to be done in basically 2 more rounds of Dark Throws here anyway.
The Karate Man, after the second kick, the first attack from Cecil says ouch, falls over, but this Karate Man will be saying ouch internally. And that will be crumbling away, and Cubs will be finishing up momentarily. The Cubs will finish in 3rd place. Momentarily.
As Cubs is finishing up here, Ninja is through the Pale Dim on that second attempt, has the Earth Crystal, and will be hot on Cubs' heels here.
Ninja getting through the Pale Dim, a fight the second time of asking. And what a way to finish a holiday party back home in your own bed. 3 objectives complete. Cubs Rule 21 finishes in 3rd place. Because of all the stream drops, the time is a little different from what you saw on the timer, but it is an official time of 26:56. GG's to Cubs.
GG's indeed, and we'll see if we can get Cubs in here for an interview.
And while we're getting him in there, CS Radical taking on his Pale Dim with a little bit higher levels, did take on an egg or 2 to get up to at least some quad numbers to make these fights a little bit safer. And we are joined by Cubs Rule 21. GG's.
Cass, thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect. So one thing that we saw you do, well, before I get into that, what did you think of the flags? This is definitely set up to be a little bit jetty, and I think it delivered on that.
Sometimes it's a nice little twist on Supermarket Sweep with the S Pro, but sometimes it's just nice to get in and get out and then not feel like things are starting to drag on for a while. So it's just a nice quick one like this is kind of fun.
Yeah, you really took the part of the holiday party to heart, where you got done what you needed to do. When you saw that edge at the start, did you know that you wanted a small party with lots of stuff to dart?
I was going to look for a second edge early, and then the spoon showed up, and it's just like, this is probably enough to just get through whatever's at the top of tower, so let's just go.
Well, that ultimately proved to be true. But
yeah. I spent more time looking for Magma Key, I think, than anything else.
Yeah.
Magma Key was surprisingly elusive. That spoon came in very useful on that Pale Dim, which is where you made up quite a bit of time. What did you think of that Pale Dim at the top of the tower?
I was just glad it wasn't Golbez or Wyvern. Because, like I said, the spoon there was going to take a decent chunk, about like half off of whatever boss was there. So just glad to not have that. I was actually more worried for a moment about the elements, because that got very close to seeing Fire 3, to seeing Glare, but I think I snuck through there right at the last second.
Well, it's better to be lucky than good sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Agreed. I thought about maybe looking for a second second edge, and maybe it would have been worth it to go find one, but I knew I was gonna have to go fast and just try and cut out as much as possible, and especially after finding that magma so late.
Well, luckily on this seed, you did not do anything as reckless as messing with the company copier. So well done on that. Any final thoughts on the seed or on the flags or on anything else?
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Fight me. No,
okay.
Really very much enjoyed this, but looking forward to the rest of the community races this week. I like this flag set.
So the tired take is Die Hard is a Christmas movie. The wired take is Goodfellas is a Christmas movie.
Actually, the new one I've seen the last few days is Die Hard is a Metroidvania.
Yep.
So that one, I admit, I've spent far longer than I probably should have trying to figure out what else is a Metroidvania, but we'll just leave it at that. I just want to thank you. I just want to say thank you, both of you, Grunt, Sheep. Looking forward to watching this one back. Blizzard, well done with the buttons. Scala, as always. This might be the nicest seed you've ever rolled. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This was fun. I really am looking forward to the rest of the community races this week.
Congratulations on the Employee of the Quarter plaque, and hope you enjoyed the limp lettuce salad in the break room, and congratulations again on your third place finish.
Thank you. I will be throwing all these things as well, just like everything else.
Yeah, thank you for joining us for agreeing to be restreamed today.
Thank you. Have a good night, all.
All right, and over the course of that interview, both Ninja and Radical are at the top of tower now, and in fact, Ninja is through that karate fight, and will be finishing up in just a few moments here as well.
Well, we were talking Fried Potato finished in 4th place with a time of 30:51, and Asuka424 finished in 5th place with a time of 31:46. GG's to them as well. And did you notice Radical trolled us on the way up? Thought we were going to get of that treasury? No.
Today, instead, we get to fade that treasury.
Yes. We're going to have fun. Mandatory fun. And E-Ninja is in the bed and has finished in 6th place with a time of 36:05. GG's to E-Ninja.
GG's to Ninja. We'll see if we can get Ninja in here for an interview. But in the meantime, as Radical is also finishing up, Beauty in Discovery is on his way up the Tower of Babel and will soon be facing off against that Paladin as well.
And Radical will head into the bed, and once he finishes, we'll see if we can get him in for an interview as well. And you know, these interviews are quite a bit chiller than the regular interviews we have in the corporate world, but we are joined by E-Ninja81, our 6th place finisher. GG's.
GG. That was interesting.
It sure was. How do you like being able to go like that?
It was fun.
Did it feel significantly different to you than your average supermarket sweep would in comparison?
Yeah, I never did any shopping and never loot any chests.
Yeah, sometimes the characters do all the work by themselves, right?
I mean, Edge and Edward did, especially when you found the spoon in Antline Cave.
Yeah, like if you're having an early Edge, an early Sid, and an early Spoon word, sometimes that's all you need to get through the rest of the seed.
Yep. Yeah, that was interesting.
Well, I hope you noticed the warm Dr. Pepper in the break room that the that the bosses decided to spring for. What did you think of the flag set overall? Did it remind you of corporate holiday parties?
I've never really been to a corporate holiday party, so
I
You're
think
not
I can
missing
safely say, yeah, you're not missing anything.
well, that sounds like a good thing.
So, how about that pale dim at the top of tower? What did you think of that fight?
I struggled a little bit with that, but I did get through it. And
Yep,
then like at the end when I went to Zot, I was like, well, Spoonward, you did your job. I need that spoon to throw at something.
Did the thought maybe cross your mind of throwing the spoon at pale dim at any point, or did you just want to get through that fight the conventional way?
Well, the problem is the spoon would have only done quad 9s, and then I would have had to deal with the rest of the damage.
Yeah, totally fair.
And I know whatever's at Zot 2 had less than 9999. So I knew darting the spoon at it, if it was just a single target, would just kill it. That's what I was thinking.
Well, very much so, and that was a really speedy Tower of Zot once you got through that pale dim. So, any
Yep.
closing thoughts about this race, about these flags?
No, I actually like them. I'd be willing to run them again next Friday, or well, I should say this Friday.
I was just
Well,
saying
we
you can't run next Friday as well.
And the following Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing you, and all of us here at the company appreciate the work that you've done, and congratulations again on your 6th place finish.
Yep. Thank you. And I want to thank Scala for the restream, Fiery Blizzard for pressing the buttons and not eating them like certain possums do, and you S-Crunch Launcher for doing comms.
Well, thank you, Ninja, for being on the restream tonight, and have a wonderful evening.
Yep, you too. Bye.
All right. So as noted earlier, that was Ninja finishing 2nd place on the restream, 6th place overall in the race. CS Radical, who finished the race in 7th place, has declined an interview, as this is right, which leaves us with just Beauty and Discovery heading up Zot, and will shortly be finishing the seat himself.
Yeah, CS Radical finishes in 7th place with a time of 36:40, and it's one of those rip-roaring seats when 36 minutes is 7th place, but just one of those seats. A really well done race for CS Radical. Didn't appear to be in any danger at any point, and it was a really smooth, really professional run there.
Yep. So as Beauty gets set up for this Dark Elf fight that we know is coming for him, I do want to take a moment, of course, to shout out all of our racers on restream tonight. Cubsdrill finishing 3rd, Ninja finishing in 6th, Caesar finishing 7th, Beauty and Discovery, who is still going, as well as our restream crew, Scala Kitty handling the restream, Fiery Blizzard handling pushing the buttons, and of course my co-commentator, Sheep Launcher.
And thank you to S-Grunt. The S, of course, stands for spectacular commentary.
Incorrect.
Such knowledge.
Also incorrect.
But this really was a lot of fun doing this with you. After the last community race flag set went a little bit long. Long seeds are a lot of fun to restream and to watch and to play, but you don't want to do it all the time. This one was a nice, quick little palate cleanser to really cap off 2022 and start the new year with a bang.
Yeah, we do generally hope that our community race flag sets are as accessible to the community as they can be, and I certainly think that this flag set fits the bill quite nicely.
Yeah, this was a flag set from really valued community member Ribbon Quest, and she really knows how to kind of make a flag set that is, requires a lot of skill to finish first. but really anybody can play it and do well in it.
And as I did point out earlier, that this flag set is actually part of RiverQuest's Asynchronous Race Club Shop Till You Drop. So if you're a fan of this kind of flag set, be sure to stop by our Discord. You will find this and many other flag sets being run as part of that club.
Yeah, the asyncs going on in the community clubs are just a whole lot of fun. We encourage you to check it out. It's really chill. There's no pressure, only the pressure you put on yourself, and that goes for the community races as well.
Yeah, I do want to take a moment here to point it on Beauty's stream that while See No Free is not on, we have a piggy in the tower anyway.
Well done.
Yeah, okay, so this is the karate fight for Beauty in Discovery. One or two hits from Edge and Spoonward, and that Crystal Sword Cecil is going to make quick work of that fight. In fact, if we let Cecil get a hit in after the second punch, the fight would end instantly, but it's going to be over before then anyway.
Yeah, that's not going to let... does get a second kick, so can get the Cecil kill here.
Ouch.
Still fades away after saying ouch. Doesn't get that the particular crumble skip, but Beauty in Discovery is just a few short moments away from finishing his race.
Yeah, certainly think a rather different tack than some of the rest of the racers here with the Evelyn check and picking up that Cecil.
Yeah, but that Cecil doing work for Beauty and Discovery, and it's always nice to have a Crystal Sword by your side.
Indeed.
And so, Rosa learns exit just in time. I didn't even see what the key item was. Not
it was the pan.
Ah, okay. Well, the pan will go unused, but Beauty and it is a white elephant gift to give to the to give at the Christmas party. But Beauty Discovery finishes in 8th place with a time of 45:22 GGs. And Beauty and Discovery has joined us for an interview. GGs.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
And Beauty and Discovery.
So what did you think of that whole flag set and how it went for you?
You know, I kind of forgot till the last minute S Pro is on. And S Pro is a very interesting flag, right? Because I think most people that played Supermarket Sweep or the variants are used to just having the world as your oyster and finding adamants and excals to throw and everything else. S Pro changes that dramatically, and suddenly those shops really aren't as giving as you're used to. So I think it really did me in because I got that Cecil and I really wanted that shiny sword. So that's where I went to the Evelyn dip, and that's really what cost me more than anything. But overall, very fun flag set.
I know you don't want to hear this, but there was a crystal sword.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm very curious.
It was in the public treasury in Troya.
Wait, a public treasury? Wow. I mean, you know, once again, T Wild, right? So that changes things also, which is why I did just a little bit of looting, and I wasn't too mad about going to Evelyn, Power Shirt, Murasame, all things considered. But yeah, I think this is also an exercise of do your objectives, right? If you had gotten your Magma Key, done Dwarf Castle, immediately went to Tower, you would have got done a lot faster than I did, like all the other racers.
Well, that was a really fun flag set to watch, and like you said, the S Pro really made it interesting where you couldn't just chuck anything. The Pale Dim at the top of the tower seemed to be the quasi big boss of this, the boss whose name you have to remember at the corporate holiday party, if you will. So how was that fight for you?
Very Lumberg-esque, but yes, it wasn't too bad. I think with Spoonward, and then, you know, it's not ideal being able to throw slumbers to get around the slow, and then just kind of wait it out. Wasn't too bad at all. Honestly, yeah, nothing was too difficult in this seed. I think maybe if I had kind of let that ruby phase of Dwarf 1 get away from you, the magic there is just high enough that if you're not prepared, Glare can really bring you down, so can Fire 3, but never saw that. So overall, really smooth run, just routing didn't work out quite as well. At least I faded Twin Harp, you know. That's one thing I guess I could say I did right.
Right. Well, what is your favorite food to have at a company holiday party, and why is it pinwheels?
Pinwheels. As long as they're not those really bad ones you get from Costco, hot take, you know, where they have like too much cream cheese in them and they're kind of gross, you know. But I have to say, I would have to say deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs, and I feel like corporate holiday party people are trying to impress, so they make them real good. I feel like that's a little bit of a hot take.
And how much paprika on a deviled egg is appropriate?
If you can see yellow, you're doing it wrong.
Well done. So, Escrow, do you have any other questions for?
I think that's that about covers everything that I would have asked.
Well, GG's on this beauty, and you are a valued member of the company, and we were glad to have you here. Any final thoughts on this flag set, or on this race, or anything else?
Just generally, I think it would be interesting to see a few more of these. I don't know if Ribbon Quest has it completely laid out in the club that she's running, modeled around this flag set. But that S Pro, like I said, really changes things up quite a bit and makes it a little interesting, and you almost think about looting. So I really like that, and I hope we see a couple more of those. But otherwise, just want to take the time to thank US Grunt's Cheap Launcher for commentary, Scala for restreaming, and Fiery Blizzard for pushing the buttons. Very much appreciated for putting on the show and making it so we all can come here, hang out, and watch a good race.
And you were certainly a part of that as well. GG's once again, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, and while that brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast, we're certainly not done with Free Enterprise either for tonight or for the rest of the week. In just a few short moments, we will be sending you over to our community member, John Burkhead, who is doing some practice flags for his own mini Sumomo League that he takes part in with a few of our other community members. As for the rest of this week, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be running a restream of the Mini Mysteries Club run by someone who I don't know. It's me. I run that club.
The S stands for fly.
Incorrect. For the rest of the week, we definitely have the community race on Friday at that's 10 p.m. Eastern. We also have the Bacchus Drinkers Club running on Wednesday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern as well. And on Saturday will be the latest entry in the Variance Heroes Journey series at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and we will see you next time.
So long.